friends, I'm back. This is story number 2. This is 4, I guess. This is number 2. I have decided to go with a story that is slightly more on the lighthearted side this time. So picture this. It was the first couple weeks into the very first semester of college. I was new and I had heard what everyone had said about, freshman 15 and basically getting fat. And so I was like, not gonna happen to me. I'm gonna go on a diet. I'm going to take the stairs all the time and I'm gonna do all these things. It was great for a while, but it didn't last. But one great thing that came out of that was my newly discovered love for banana chips. Banana chips. Before, it just seemed like some horrible, vague, healthy substitute for potato chips. No, they are a whole world of delicious. Like, their own thing. They're not compared to other chips. They're like these flattened little crispy nuggets of Anyway, so I discovered my love for those on my diet, and now I eat them all the time. So fast forward a couple months, I would eat these in classes, stick them in my backpack. I suddenly reach down during class and pull one out and in the middle of class. Now, I don't have any banana chips with me today, so I will be using saltine crackers as the substitute. So I would eat these during class, especially on those days when I forgot to eat breakfast and I needed something delicious and not super nutritious, but still has banana in the name so it makes it feel like I'm being nutritious. I would eat them in class. Except there was a tiny problem. Banana chips are very hard and crunchy, and so when you eat them, you can hardly hear at all. They're very loud in your head. So keeping this in mind, picture this. I was in class and one of my favorite teachers, his name is Dr. Holmes, he was informing us about very useful things, I'm sure, except I was currently eating banana chips and I only was hearing every other word. So he calls on me, Katie, and I just freeze. And he asked me for the answer to the question he had just talked about. Except I hadn't actually heard it because I was eating banana chips. And so I just freeze, banana chip in hand, and I'm a horrible liar. I just say straight up exactly how everything is in the world. So I just look at him and I go, yeah, about that. I was eating banana chips. So I didn't actually hear what the answer was. He just looks at me and I just stare back. And eventually he just starts laughing. Then he just goes back to class and lets me off the hook apparently. But then every time I saw him after that, he'd bring it up. He'd bring up the incident, the banana chip incident. He would be passing me in the hall and he'd be like, hey, Katie, have you eaten any banana chips recently? Hey, Katie, I was talking to my wife the other day and I thought of you because I was eating potato chips and I couldn't hear a word my wife said. Hey, Katie, how are those banana chips? Right? So it became our thing, as inside joke, oh yeah, banana chips, they're great. And I was thinking the wheels were turning in my head. I was like, how legendary would it be if on the last day of class for the semester, I pull off a banana chip prank, basically, a prank. I'm not huge creative prank ideas, but the best thing I could come up with was picturing how awesome would it be if on the last day, everybody started eating banana chips at the same time. I know, it's a horrible idea. It's the best I got. I decided that this was going to happen. How funny would it be if he was just surrounded suddenly by the crunching of his nemesis? So, it was the night before our last day of class. I'm thinking, this has to happen. So, me, being little freshman, don't have a car, too poor, I bribe one of my friends who does have a car to take me to Walmart. So we go, and I am loading up on 3 giant bags of banana chips. Friends, those are not cheap. They're organic and supposedly healthy. They're the only organic thing I like to eat. So this was not a cheap prank. It was costing me $15. I don't know. But Totally worth it. So I buy these huge bags of chips. Also got slightly sidetracked with buying ice cream, pizza rolls. Anyway, so we get back and we take a slight detour. We go to the tea party hallway and sit down and turn on some music and just eat pizza rolls. We ate all of them and all of the ice cream. It was magical. But then after that, I was like back to business, came back to my room, got little Ziploc baggies, and I started taking like 2 handfuls of banana chips and putting them in each bag. I personally baggied enough banana chips for the whole class myself until like 1 in the morning, and I was very excited. I woke up the next morning. It was time, and I was so excited. I was like going full on James Bond. You know, people always tell me that I make a horrible spy because I'm a horrible liar and I just start laughing all the time and I don't know how to keep secrets. But you know, I think that that is why I would make the best spy. No one would suspect me. Anyway, I have this plan of banana chips and I'm carrying it out perfectly. So I have a few accomplices, right? Standing outside the door to class, handing out little baggies of banana chips, and I'm like, quick, stuff these in your jacket or bag or whatever. And everyone's like totally in on it. I'm like, okay, just look for my signal and then it's go time. So everybody ends up with a little baggie of banana chips and we get inside and I'm like shaking. Like, I've never done anything like this before. This is not even breaking the rules. Why do I feel so nervous? This is, what a goody two-shoes am I? And class starts and we take like a little quiz and I'm just like, I just keep like glancing over and I see people like, they're like trying not to look obvious, but they're clearly like looking over at me to see when I'm gonna like, do the signal. And they're like, is it now? What is it? What is it? And I'm just like, this is beautiful. And finally, after we get done taking the quiz, he starts into the lecture and I'm like, okay, Dr. Holmes, buckle in for, well, basically the most underwhelming prank of your life. But it was gonna be awesome. So I like look at my friends and I'm like, it's time. And I just take one and suddenly there was crunching everywhere. It was really funny. And it did not take long for Dr. Holmes to stop teaching and he just sat there and what? Is there a banana chip conspiracy going on that I don't know about? He was so confused. And I'm telling you, everyone is trying so hard to keep a straight face, but it didn't work at all. And everyone started laughing, which, you know, it would have been cooler if we didn't and we would have been like, oh yeah, banana chip conspiracy, we're cool. No, everyone started laughing and I just didn't make eye contact with anyone because this was all my doing and I didn't want to be discovered. At least not yet. Then everyone just eats the rest of the banana chips throughout the class. He was just so confused. He kept looking around, like scanning people's faces, trying to figure out who was in charge. And I was just like, no, nope. And then we went back to what we were doing. But at the end of class, I go up to him and I'm like, Dr. Holmes, and I have his own little bag of banana chips, or in this case, crackers. I hand them to him. And they have his name on it, and they say Merry Christmas, you know, because we're going on Christmas break. And I explained the whole thing. He thought it was great. After class, I went to chapel, and I was sitting in chapel just talking to my friends. Eventually, chapel starts, and the speaker starts talking, and I hear something behind me. And I turn around to see Dr. Holmes eating the banana chips that I gave him. Chowing down on banana chips. It was so loud and he had no shame. He just goes and it was worth it. That was the moment that it was all for. And I turn around and I eat the rest of my banana chips as well. Didn't really hear the rest of that chapel, but they were delicious. Thanks for watching. Bye.